What's happening, folks? Back with another reaction. Back with some more Marie Fredriksson, and we're going back to the 1985/86. Again, I probably mentioned this before, but the file or the folder I have says 85. On Discogs it says 86, so presumably there were different regional releases of it that spanned 85 to 86. In any case, the next track, I believe, or at least according to Google Translate, translates to When You Looked at Me. So it sounds like a crucial moment, a powerful interaction, whether just visually or whether that was the first prologue to a long multi-chapter story. But yes, it sounds like an arresting look, something that felt very significant to the person being looked at, whether that was just because of the visual impact of the person who was doing the looking or the emotional connotations surrounding it. But assuming that is the correct title, it sounds like a very impactful encounter, which, again, perhaps was the first part of a longer story, or maybe even a middle chapter. The idea of maybe two people who know each other, they've been around each other, but it was for some reason one night when one of them looked at the other person, it clicked something into a different gear. So obviously I will await the comments and translations. A big shout out to all the folks who've been providing those as we've gone through her Swedish language material. Let's hear it. This is Marie Fredriksson from the Seventh Wave, 1985/86, and the track, I think, translates to When You Looked at Me. going on sonically, I've mentioned in a number of different deep dives, I think Duran was the first one where I noticed this, because unlike Depeche, which I had sort of followed pretty consistently, a little bit of a break in the late 90s when I was really starting to get into techno and go to, punk shows and so on. But Depeche, I don't think, leaned into this as much. When I started going through Duran's catalog, I noticed that their early stuff was in a very new wave, early 80s synth pop vein, and by the time you get to 86, 87, they were making a lot of tunes with a high level of funk and some soul sound to it. And I've since noticed that there's a number of groups, Eurythmics, another great example, where you get to the mid to second half of the 80s, and the level of funk and soul vibe in their tunes definitely is higher. This one, 85, 86, definitely feels like it had a funk to it, the bass in particular, the just sort of overall dancing quality to it. It kind of had this stomping rhythm. Also, the vocals, especially Marie's vocals, had a high, soul pop type of feel. I'm assuming all those backing vocals were her, doubled and tripled. Maybe I'm wrong, but it sounded like her voice, especially when the lead vocal would go in unison with those supporting vocals. So, again, I'm assuming all the female voices, plural, were actually Marie. I'm curious about that male vocal. I can check in a moment on Discogs, because I do have the master release open, because I'm always just taking whatever the title is there, taking it over to Google Translate and seeing what it puts out. And as I've learned, it's, you have to take everything with a grain of salt. So maybe it's not When You Looked at Me. I did hear the title phrase again and again, so I'm assuming, given the nature of the translation, which seems pretty straightforward, I'm guessing that's reasonably accurate. So I'm assuming the male voice is playing the character of whoever looked at her. But either way, yeah, it definitely was like a synth, soul, funk type of track, so enjoyed the combination of those different styles. Obviously, I can't get a direct read on the lyrics, but given that it was a quasi-duet, it wasn't like a full duet, because that male vocal was really only on the same level, or most significantly in the track in the first third of it, I would say. We heard him again by the end, but it was only that one section where he sort of came to the fore and told his side of the story, is what I'm guessing. But yeah, I like it when you are unexpectedly presented with a second voice, because, going into this, I wasn't aware of that. So that was a cool feature, and again, his voice had a bit of rasp or scratch to it, so enjoyed that. And again, the dance floor quality stood out. It was a sort of stomping, not marching, but it had a very impactful percussion, 4/4 rhythm to it, so I enjoyed that. Let's see if there is, in fact, any information here on Discogs regarding that particular vocal performance. Vocals, Lasse Lindbom, whose real name is apparently Lars Goran Bertil Lindbom. So yeah, Lasse Lindbom was apparently the voice we heard there. So I'm guessing he's Swedish. Yeah, Swedish artist, musician, mainly a bassist and music producer, but apparently did some vocals here and there. So, and he has some solo albums as well. So yeah, between 78 and 94 he put out 3 solo albums. So yeah, I guess that's who it was. Guitar. Okay, so yeah, the guitar. I was almost going to forget. Staffan Astner, Swedish guitarist, songwriter, and producer. He's worked with or toured with a lot of people like Sting, Ray Charles, Celine Dion, Marie Fredriksson, Frida from ABBA, Martha and the Vandellas? No way. Okay, so I was thinking that, when I mentioned that the song had a bit of a soul feel, those backing vocals reminded me kind of like Motown vocals, the way there's, backing singers that are supporting the lead vocalist and they're sort of interacting vocally over the course of the track. It gave me more of an 80s soul vibe, but I still did think of Motown. So shout out to Martha and the Vandellas. I believe they did that one, Heat Wave, which I've been thinking about because it's been really hot here in Southern California. So yeah, shout out to, what was it? Again, Astner was the surname? Staffan Astner, because that really was some shredded guitar. The solo was, absolutely wicked, and then it came over some of the other elements in the final phase of the tune. So yeah, again, don't really know what's happening lyrically, but I enjoyed a lot of the sonics. Let me know what you think, and I will see you next time. Peace.